Hey guys, welcome back to Inner Gamer, part of the Kingdom of Geekdom, sponsored by Woodlands Online. Tonight, very excited. This one, I've played from point to point, and it is becoming a cult classic. From when it was first created to now its final form. Tonight, Bendy and the Ink Machine. Bendy and the Ink Machine was developed by a smaller company that came out in chapters, mostly on Steam. So the fact that it's now available on Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo Switch, if you're going to go physical, you got to go GameStop on this one. They've got the exclusive rights to it. It is an interesting game. It is a survival horror game. I know we throw that around a lot with survival horror this, survival horror that. Like it's become a very common term, at least in my mind. But this one is different. Bendy is a crazy game where just a mild bit of the story, because maybe we'll do spoilers later. But for now, it's about a gentleman named Henry who goes back to a cartoon studio that he worked with. And this takes place in the time of those olden time cartoons where everybody wears gloves. It's kind of like Disney, where they kind of have the up and down kind of thing. The big bands playing in the background, that kind of stuff. It's a different type of game. And a different type of story. And my God, I enjoyed it, but we'll do the good, the bad, the ugly. The good is, I gotta say, it's scary. I played it with a friend, and I freaked out at times and asked, "Did you see that?" And she'd go, No, of course I didn't. And then later, when I saw the monster standing there, she didn't. And then when she looked up, she just screamed. It was beyond funny. It was actually scary. At times, you can see the monster coming down the hallway. And you have to run. There's no way, and you have to run. You barely make it. The bad, honestly, and some people might define this as good, there's no direction. It tells you an overlying goal. Turn on the machine. Find so-and-so. Do this. And it tells you no way. No, it doesn't lead you along. You just find it, and you listen to the recordings, and you remember what they said, and you kind of have to keep exploring to find what you need. Let's go through the characters a little bit. Of course, you've got my man Bendy. Bendy is a demon, of course, and he is the main character of the studio. He is that character that's kind of like Mickey Mouse, a little bit, that created the studio that everybody follows around. He's the guy. He's the cartoon character, where he is seconded only by his trusty sidekick, Boris. Boris is the lovable wolf. Doesn't really talk a lot. He's just kind of admin, kind of like a Goofy of sorts. And then you've got third, the angel. The angel is, good lord. There's more to her than what meets the eyes here. And you get really into the story. What's funny is, some of the parts of the story is, Bendy takes off and is just this crazy success. So they added in Angel as a little bit of they wanted the romance, they wanted the mini of sorts. And nobody liked her. So there's some hang-ups with her. But it's that deep ink kind of cartoon, that deep ink, and it penetrates the entire game to where it's difficult to manage through. And there is some combat, there is some survival, there is some horror. This isn't a game that's like really difficult when it comes to surviving. When it comes to progressing, that's when it gets a little difficult. Honestly, is it a $40 game? I don't think so. Is it a $20 game? Absolutely. I think it took me about 6 hours to get through. And we had to use the wiki a few times because we could not figure it out. So don't feel ashamed if you use the wiki. Afterwards, after I beat the game, I dove into the spoilers, I dove into even more, and I dove into the characters and realized that there was a lot more going on. You get through it, you scratch the surface. Then, when you replay it, you see a lot more as you go into the archives. You go into a lot more detail, and you can really start putting things together. It's a solid game. I enjoy it. I am glad for Bendy's success. I am glad that it is becoming kind of a cult classic up there with Five Nights at Freddy's. Is it appropriate for children? It's rated teen. It's a horror game. Remember that going in. There isn't a lot of violence. You fight ink monsters. There's no blood. When you die, you just kind of walk through a tunnel of ink and just pop back out where you were at. So there's no real violence that I would really worry about. There's no language either. There's none there. I would say, dependent upon your children's age, this is a horror game. Remember that. I slept fine, but a child, little one, might have a little bit more difficulties to it. When overall, out of it, I'd give Bendy a solid 7.5, maybe an 8 if I'm being generous. It's a solid game. Love it. Definitely pick it up. And remember, it is available for Xbox, PlayStation, and the Nintendo Switch. So if you're looking for a little something extra in between your Super Smash Bros. Battles, maybe try Bendy. And of course, play it with the lights off. This has been Stevie Wonder 13, part of the Kingdom of Geekdom, sponsored by Wins Online. Have a great night, guys.